I think this is, to me, one of the most important questions, and the one that I think has some really exciting, and if I even dare say fun, possibilities. So I mentioned before that one of the big structural problems is that we used to have, in this country, as Europe still does, we used to have cities surrounded by farms. They say that like in the 19th century, more than 50% of everyone in the country worked on a farm. So 50% of the people you knew worked on a farm. Now it's 2%. So nobody works on a farm, nobody knows where any farms are. So that's the problem. The solution to this is returning to that, returning to local food production, local food economies. So you are watching now, we've had 25 or 30 years of a boom in organic food because people got sick of the chemicals. Now what you're starting to find is a boom in local food, local small-scale food. And, again, cynics will say, oh, that's just yuppies. Yuppies have money so they can spend it on local boutique. But that's false, because what that is actually just simply returning to the way things always were. Like this last 50, 60 years thing is a complete historical aberration. Eating big industrial food is not, the term you hear is it's conventional farming. That is a false title. The way we eat now is a historically unprecedented way. So when people say, I would like to eat food grown by a farmer whose name I know, that's actually, and if you want to think about it this way, a conservative idea because it's old school. That's the way it always used to be. So whether you live in the suburbs and there happens to be one last farm, everything else has been plowed under to make subdivisions and there's one guy who's growing food, you want to give that guy your money. Like you want to make that guy the richest guy in town. Why? Because if he gets rich, people are going to be like, huh, you can make a buck farming, and maybe what we'll do is not create one more shopping mall, maybe we'll create one more small farm, and now this local economy starts to grow. You're starting to see this in cities, especially in blighted, really challenged places like where I live in Baltimore, or in places like Detroit, or places like Milwaukee or Chicago. There are brilliant people that are taking these abandoned neighborhoods in cities, and they're not just creating gardens, they're creating farms. Because cities, as you know, have just been brutalized because this is a whole conversation, but when we built the roads and everybody left the city to go out and live in the suburbs, the cities collapsed. With few exceptions. New York City, San Francisco, places that have like unmanageable real estate prices, those places didn't suffer so much. But where I live, Baltimore, Detroit, these other cities, they were gutted. When everyone left, they took the money with them and the cities fell apart. So that created all kinds of problems, and not just food, but all kinds of racial problems and economic disparity problems. All kinds of ugly things happened when all the money left the cities. What is happening now is these cities are reinventing themselves. So you've got people moving back into the cities and say, you know what we want to do is feed ourselves. And they come into these neighborhoods that have what are called food deserts, where they've got, the only place to buy food is at a McDonald's or a bodega, like a corner store that's got no fresh produce. And they're saying, you know what, this is not helping anyone. So they're creating really interesting, very innovative ways to grow food. So that, to my mind, this is the solution, is to reinvest in local food production. And I will tell you, as someone who teaches at the university, I always take my students, and I'm talking about like English majors and history majors and philosophy majors, I take them out to farms and reintroduce them to the making of food. Because even college students, you ask them where like potatoes come from, and they might say they grow on trees. They don't know because they've never seen one. They think a potato is a chip or a fry. They think strawberry is a flavor, because they've never seen one growing. Does anybody know where a strawberry comes from? Does that grow on a tree? Does it grow on a vine? They've never seen one. How are they going to know? You introduce them to that, and they're like, ah, God, now I know. Now I'll never eat another industrial strawberry again.